visible, we need to have the main basic idea of the function. Okay, so as you have already learned about the functions, okay, you may have worked with the functions in the C language also. So in the functions, we'll use a block of organized code. Okay, so we'll make it as reusable one. Okay, so the function will obviously calls. Okay, so the function will be called to execute a block of code repeatedly, or we wanted to use the same function for various purposes. Okay, so generally subroutines, what we'll call them as functions is that we may define it as a method, or we may define it as a subroutine, or it is a kind of procedure. Okay, so in such a way, so we will define the functions. Okay, so you may know that how we will define the function also. So here in the MATLAB, so what is the difference between this MATLAB language and the others is that, so here we need to define the function by using the keyword like function. Okay, so function is a, see here, so you can see the color has been changed. So it is a keyword. So in the MATLAB, so we'll define the function. So here, how we will input and how we'll get the output in the functions. Okay, so by using basically the scripts. Okay, so if you wanted to create scripts. Okay, so as you know how to create script. Okay, so you can have like plus new. Okay, as a script file. Okay, so you can have a script file, new script file, or you can directly press here by clicking the plus, right? So this will give you the script file, right? So in the script files, you can create functions. Okay, and then also you can directly use them in the normal command window also with the help of semicolon. Okay, so with the help of semicolon, you can write a number of lines of sequence of commands. So to reuse them as a program file. Okay, so but if you use the script file, this would be the better, I mean, best way of using the functions. Okay, so here scripts is a, as you know that it is a simple program. So where you can write number of commands or various commands line by line, and then so there will be more flexibility if you are using scripts. So how, if you wanted to create a function, definitely we need to give some name. Okay, so if you are creating a function with based on the input and output values. Okay, so input will be given as a arguments. So arguments means, so you need to pass the argument within the function, right? So in the same way, so if your function is creating one output means, so you can define that as f equal to my, or so whatever, if I wanted to do factorial of a number, fact of n. So n is a parameter or a value which I am passing as an input. Okay, so to the function I am passing it as a input. So now I got the input and I'll get only one output from this function. Okay, so from this function I'll get one output. Okay, so now I'll try to give the block of code which this function will do. Okay, so now we f equal to prod. Prod is also a predefined function for making the products. Okay, so product. So here I can give like one because I am doing the factorial of n numbers. Okay, so n will be the any of n. Okay, so any of the n can give as a input. Now what should I do is that I can start from 1 because the factorial is starts with from 1 only, right? So every time fact of n. So if I give any number, so that will obviously reflect here the product. Okay, so this will automatically generates or creates factorial. So now what I should do is that I should end the function end. So because I have only written one line, so that there is no requirement of braces here. Okay, either you will you can use or you may not, but here this would be better to identify, to give the best structure. Okay, which is always for better to have the braces to make it as a block. Okay, so now if I wanted to run this one, first I need to save the file. Okay, so factorial. As you know, it is obviously defaultly takes the .m, right? Now, yes, it creates an error because I haven't given the same function in here. I will save this one. Still getting in error. Pass argument. Otherwise, it won't. Good. I need to give some input, right? So that's why here we got some error. Okay, so as I have already defined here, n is the input. Okay, so now I need to pass either any of the value. Okay, so factorial of 6. So I got the answer as 720. Is it right? So in the same way, you need to pass the argument because you have already given in the function. Okay, so within the function you have given some value here. Okay, so factorial of n. So we need to pass the arguments. Okay, so argument so that output will be taken. Okay, so input first we need to give the input, then only the output will be obviously generated here. So in the same way. Okay, so this is the way we need to use the function. So here one input and one output. So if you your function will create more number of outputs, then you can use here a brace. Okay, so I'll show you some program. Yeah, here you can see. So m comma s. This function is stat is a function where it is accepting one input and two outputs from this function. Okay, m comma s. Okay, actually this program is all related to the average and the standard deviation. So the code will accept. Okay, so you can see the function and the two outputs. So as I have defined here within a square brace. So I can use square braces m comma s is equal to stat of x. Okay, now n is a value where we have used that n in m and s functions. Okay, so sum of x by n. So this is an average. So average function will be created with the n value, so that we have defined for our purpose. Okay, so for our purpose we have defined n equal to length of x. Okay, so this is all for number of values and the length, so which we need to use here. And then again, so this is for your for standard deviation. So where we have defined the formula square root of sum of x minus m dot power of 2 by n. Okay, so this is function. So now we wanted to give the values. Okay, so for the purpose of values, what we will do is that so we'll run by giving values. We need to give more than one value here. Equal to, so within the square braces you can give any of your wish. Okay, so any number of values by making separating them with some comma. Okay, so 6 comma 9 comma 10 comma. Okay, so 5 or 4.7 comma 6 and 9. So it's your wish. Okay, so based on your wish you can give your values. Okay, number of values, and then you need to close the square brace. And you need to use semicolon because so you are assigning these values to the function. Okay, so stat. Okay, so for that purpose, so what we need to do is that we need to give like this way. Okay, and then what we need to do, we need to define what is m and s. Okay, so it is average and standard deviation is equal to. So this is all the purpose for understanding. Okay, and then we need to call stat now. Okay, stat of, we have already given values which we need to pass through this function. So already we have defined values, various values, number of values here. So we are again making them passing through the stat. Okay. So we can have, yeah. So now the average and standard deviation has been calculated and it has been given as the result. You can see here. Okay. Is it clear, everyone?